Today we're talking about a Tumi fragrance. So strap up, get your beverage, and let's go for that ride. All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I'm your host for the afternoon. From the house of Tumi, we have Unwind, courtesy of my man Kix. Kix, thank you for sending me fragrances. Again, if you'd like to send me fragrances as a gift or just to support the reviews, a lot of people sometimes say, hey, SB, can you try this fragrance? I think you might like it. Sometimes they mail it to me and I mail it back, and we get a nice little Decant trade thing going, and that's fun too. So I have a private inbox to send that to. Just look in the description if you guys want to get down on that. If you ever send something to my private mailbox, please reach out to me and let me know. I give everybody credit for sending stuff to me and sending stuff to me, and we're reviewing Tumi, right? Anyways, I put this on skin already, and I put it on a test strip. So let's get some initial thoughts. Sorry, just trying to make sure I close it off. In the air, it has a very, I get two fragrances come to my mind immediately in terms of the top. So it's somewhat reminiscent of Salvatore Ferragamo Port Homme, that kind of old school classic fougere figgy type of fragrance. It's almost like classic fougere with a modern touch of this bright aromatic fig note. Same thing with Dolce & Gabbana K, EDT or EDP, has this bright top aromatic fig, almost like this herbal fig, bright, airy. It has that kind of top. I'd be interested to see if fig is in this fragrance or what floral was used to kind of achieve that kind of like slightly sweet, soft, but yeah, it's like a soft, almost slight powdery sweet. You guys know how fig is, you know? I'm trying to think. Old Navy has that fig fragrance, sea salt and fig. Dolce & Gabbana K. Salvatore Ferragamo has fig. I think Vintage Green 78 from Banana Republic has fig. Fig's a cool note, but it can be overpowering. Again, aromatic figgy opening on the top. I don't know if fig is in this fragrance, but it also has like some other things like some very light brush metallics, which I love the way the metallics feel is treated here, because it has this bright, either floral or fruity forwardness sitting on top of it. So it kind of duffs off that synthetic silver feel that a lot of metallic fragrances have. So I appreciate that. Has almost a ozonic, like an ozonic aromatic base, almost like a new car smellness to the base of this fragrance. Yeah, and it's got like some citrus, some spicy elements to it, but they're like very subdued. That this other stuff I'm talking about in the fragrance feels more like 10-15% of the fragrance. Most of it feels like this kind of like either fruity or floral top, this kind of aromatic finish to that feel. And then like some like elemental ozonic kind of new car smellness in the base with some citrus and some spices that are very soft. Let's go to the window here. It feels like a very masculine fragrance. Man, it really warms up on skin. So let's just see. I think there's gotta be some like geranium or something in here. Okay. Top notes. Oh, there we go. Okay. So top notes, ginger and lemon. Let me just say that perhaps this combination, okay, let me just tell you. Ginger, lemon top, sage, geranium, lavender mid, sandalwood, agarwood oud, and vetiver in the base. Okay, so I wanted to say that the aromatic feel, I think, might come from, I don't know if the word is effervescence, but like the spritz from ginger, the herbal feel from sage. But the geranium lavender is really jamming its head up this fragrance. Look on the corner of the screen. Jamming its head up in the fragrance. In a way that It's almost like the geranium and lavender like just shoot to the top of the fragrance. Imagine like a dolphin just flooring at 100 miles an hour and just dives out of the water. It feels like the geranium lavender are actually top notes and the ginger, lemon, sage should be mid. That's how the fragrance feels here. The geranium, I think, is what's making that pop. Kind of the lavender is giving this like sweet, soft powderness under the geranium, but the geranium is very bright and very loud, and it's just being accentuated and amplified by ginger, lemon, and sage as this like aromatic finish to this bright geranium feel. And then the base, I think the geranium and aromaticness of the top kind of still sink into the bottom so that the sandalwood, oud, and vetiver have that finish still on it. So it kind of feels more ozonic than kind of woody, sweet oud. You know what I'm saying? Very masculine. On skin, it feels a lot more warm and it feels a lot more lemony. It's amazing what a fragrance does on skin because on the test strip, it feels like a very classy masculine fragrance. On skin, it leans more into the ginger lemon than it does the sage geranium. It just makes all the sense in the world why we should always be putting fragrances on skin. Okay, let's jump out. What are some usual things I can speak of as far as summarizing this fragrance? This is on skin now. A loud geranium fragrance that feels like the note of fig, softened by slight powdery, slight medicinal, slight floral touches from lavender. That's how it's coated, with this very aromaticness coming from the contrast of spritzy ginger, zingy lemon, and herbal sage. The base just feels somewhat ozonic. Again, in the air, it's going to feel like a light fig fragrance. Like it's going to feel very close to Salvatore Ferragamo's Pour Homme or Dolce & Gabbana K light. But on skin, it assumes a lot more of the lemon and kind of radiates and warms up. But it's a classy masculine fragrance. I think it has some old school fougere touch, but not in the sense of oriental or like amber or shaving cream or anything like that. In the aromatic sense, okay? But it is very modern. I think this is modern for an older man because it feels nostalgic yet fresh and earthy. I think young people will not like this fragrance. I think it's 30 and up, and even in the 30 and up, it feels very much if you're a fougere lover, you'll love this because it feels like they took a fougere concept and modernized it with citruses and herbals and vetiver. It's not a fougere fragrance to me, but vibe-wise, it captures a very kind of modern-esque feel to that. The vibe does feel like a fresh take on an old school concept. It is very fresh. It's light. It's classy. It's interesting, but again, there's facets of it that feel old school. So for an older gentleman, this would be a easy, dumb reach, upscale casual fragrance. So in the upscale casual, anything that you would do casually that you want to feel a little bit more gentlemanly in and fresh and light and airy, you would pick this fragrance. I don't want to really call it an occasion-based fragrance. The projection on this feels decent, 2-3 feet. I think that this would struggle with longevity a bit. I would only count on this fragrance for like 4 hours. If it really sits on skin well, maybe 6 max. I can just tell with these chemicals, like they would dissipate with air. You'll probably get 6 hours indoors, 4 hours outdoors, and that's fine. Again, upscale casual. I think any season, any reason. It would probably lean more sweeter in colder weather, and in warmer weather, you'd get more of the lemon herbal facet of it. Sprays, I would ramp up on this if I were you guys. 4 to like 5 to 8 maybe. For me, as a fragrance, because it's so nostalgic to K and Salvatore Ferragamo Pour Homme, it's so interesting, right? Because the old school side of this feels like Salvatore's Pour Homme. You know, curvy, clear bottle, figgy type of vibe, right? But to me, Dolce & Gabbana K is the new age, modern, new kid on the block in the fig category, but it still feels like it takes fougere elements and makes them super modern, super hip, right? 20-year-olds would love Dolce & Gabbana K if they like the note of fig, and they want to feel older than they look, but not much. Like if you're 20, it makes you feel 22. 22 makes you feel 24 type of thing. So I feel like K is like the most modern rendition of this style, and Salvatore Ferragamo's the more vintage approach to this style, even though they both smell extremely close. And with this fragrance, it feels like it's trying to do both. So for that reason, it's like, to me, it's better than Salvatore Ferragamo by a small margin, but it's not touching Dolce & Gabbana K, EDP, Parfum, or EDT. There was another fragrance I tried recently in one of my hot take reviews with Platinum Egoise. I think it was Burberry Hero Parfum, which I likened to Dolce & Gabbana K as well. And it was doing a lot of what this fragrance was doing in a slightly more refined, modern way. But that fragrance, I think Burberry Hero Parfum, if I'm not mistaken, is very close to this. If in that video I say that this fragrance smells like Dolce & Gabbana K, then I am talking about Burberry Hero Parfum. I think they just released the Parfum last year, or some, if I'm not mistaken, and that even feels like a slight overthrow of this fragrance. So I struggle to recommend this unless the price is really nice. I'm looking on Joma here, and it's $40 for a tester of like a 75 or 100 ml. 75. Nah, I wouldn't. I mean, it's a good price for a designer type fragrance, but again, unless you're like north of 35 years old, like if you're 35 and up and you like this DNA style, it's a dumb reach everyday wear, because you're a guy who kind of likes fougere essence but wants to feel modern and fresh. And for an older male, it can still achieve that, but for a younger male, it'll feel old or dated. But still, for the $40 price point, I struggle to even want to recommend it at that. Personally, I give this fragrance a 7. Very average, not innovative. And for that, you know, it's like, you know, guys, I got to keep it real with you. It's not a bad fragrance. It's just too reminiscent of Ferragamo Pour Homme. Dolce & Gabbana K did it better. You could just get an EDT of K or an EDP of K affordably, like close to the $40 price point. Probably in certain scenarios, you could get it for 40 at like TJ Maxx or something like that. I've seen K creep into TJ Maxx, and it's a little bit more modern than this. So this is in a weird space for me, both as a DNA and at its price point. Just for kicks, let me... So Tumi Unwind. I'll bring you guys with me. Why not? Fragrance. I can barely type because I got this giant Band-Aid on. Let's see. Tumi Unwind. Do they carry it? Yeah, so you can get it for 55. What size is this? So 100 ml for 55. Like, it just doesn't... Nah, guys. I mean, it got 2 great reviews from 2, you know, 50-year-old gentlemen probably. But yeah, man, I just... Very average. It's well made, but it's kind of biting. You see, this is kind of one of those scenarios where it's like, we get mad at clone fragrances for doing this, but then if a designer or a niche fragrance chases an old concept, we're straight, right? Like we're not even mentioning it. So for that reason alone, it's like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? So I think it was a 2020 release, right? So it's like, what are we doing dropping a fragrance in 2020 like this? When was Dolce & Gabbana K released? Dolce and Gabbana. I can barely type. Again, I hate putting you guys on hold. I know you guys are probably clicking off right now, and that's okay too. But for those of you who love the scent bubble, you support what I do, I know you're interested in this nerdy stuff like me. Dolce & Gabbana K came out in 2019. So for them to drop this in 2020 just feels weird. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Anyways, this was the scent bubble. Like, comment, and subscribe. More importantly, turn on that notification bell. Guys, let me know. Am I tripping here? Have y'all put your nose to this fragrance? Is it worth it? For me, it's average, and I'm being generous there because I should dock points for the fact that it came right after K and tried to steal the show. Maybe I'm not smelling something I should be smelling, but K's better. And yeah. Hope you guys have a blessed week. Again, sound off in the comments if I'm tripping, but I wouldn't recommend this fragrance to you guys. It just weird price point. Better fragrances out. It's taking an old concept like almost verbatim. I don't know. Feels like a clone to me. But anyway, love y'all, man. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Again, this was Tumi's Unwind. And it was a dud for me, guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.